in all of New York, this is clearly the place to be tonight. Jim Breedlove and I share a common Harvard College and Harvard Law School background. And so when I was asked to introduce him, the first thought that came to mind was, what happens in Cambridge stays in Cambridge. So I thought this tagline might be an interesting perspective from which to introduce Jim. But I quickly realized there were no percentages in that, because he was going to immediately follow me, probably talk longer, and have his own view of my college and law school biography. In all seriousness, though, I began to think about what a trailblazer actually is. In Jim's case, he not only trailed a path for himself, but more importantly, he consciously created a wide path toward success in which others could follow, and that he could masterfully lead. Jim knew early on that to have real meaning, his trail would have to be wide enough to encompass a relatively broad, diverse group of interests, but also wide enough to allow other people to pass him by on the way to success. It is that moment that many of us hope for, the moment when the mentee becomes the mentor. We are very lucky to have Jim among our ranks, as his path was characterized by an understanding of history, an evolving self-awareness, and professional pride. We know much about Jim's professional accomplishments. His time as a practicing attorney and chief legal officer of a major corporation are well documented. But what you may not know about is the self-aware, precocious Danville, Virginia native who grew up and could not pass a bookstore or a library without passing through its doors and devouring the contents of the volumes which were before him. What you may not know is about the cold stares Jim endured while in the local Danville Public Library from those who thought it a bit out of place that a black kid would be in such a setting. What you may not know about is how from the 10th grade through the 12th grade, each and every Saturday, Jim would take the 50-mile bus ride from Danville to Greensboro, North Carolina, in order to attend college courses at the historical black Bennett College. What you may not know about is that he basically taught himself French while attending a public school that did not offer foreign language courses beyond 2 years of instruction, and how he was able to satisfy the Harvard College foreign language requirement by his efforts. Moving forward to the present, you might not know, and presumably, Jim, you don't know, that several of your colleagues behind your back refer to you as the big dog. And that this reference is not as much a designation befitting you in your praxis or organizational capacity, as much as it is a reference point which describes your undeniable leadership skills and willingness to spend limitless time developing your team's talents and those others fortunate to be in your orbit. Jim, know that they covet the Jim time, as it has come to be known in your company. Your ability to lead and teach is well recognized. And so, as I think about Trailblazers and the Cambridge, Massachusetts incubator of Trailblazers, which produced during our time there the likes of American Express's Ken Chenault, Merck's Ken Frazier, Paul Weiss's Ted Wells, Professor Cornel West, and sportscaster James Brown, and of course our honoree, Jim Breedlove, and what Jim has contributed to the profession over decades of committed excellence, there should be no question that in all of New York, this is indeed the place to be tonight. And so it is my honor and distinct pleasure to present to you this year's Metropolitan Black Bar Association Trailblazer of the Year, James T. Breedlove.